All right, we gotta stop. I gotta go. All right, cool. I'm missing my show, man. All right, cool. All right. Excuse me. Hey guys, it's Bryan, your friendly neighborhood reviewer, and today on the showcase, I'm going to talk about John Mayall, man. And that's cool. If you don't know who John Mayall, no problem, man. But you're definitely going to know the people he worked with and started a lot of groups with. Him and this other cat, Alexis Corner, man. These two dudes, they pretty much started the whole British blues boom. And because of that, in the 60s and all that, they started all these groups that, oh my gosh, the Stones and everybody else, man. Just hang in there. We'll talk about it in just a second. Stay tuned for the intro. Cool. We'll do a little album showcase, and then we'll talk a little bit of history of John Mayall. This guy, man, he's dedicated his whole life to this music, man, this blues music, American blues, and just killer musician, good singer, solid singer, amazing guy. Anyway, we'll take a look at the album real quick. This album, U.S.A. Union, this is with him working with a couple of dudes from Canned Heat, Harvey Mandel, and what's that dude's name, man? Oh, hang on, man. Larry Taylor, man. Yeah, Larry Taylor and Harvey Mandel were originally from Canned Heat, the blues group. So they worked really well together. Awesome group. Harvey Mandel also tried out for the Stones as well because he played on their Black and Blue album. And then Sugarcane Harris. This is John Mayall came over from England, originally from England, moved to Laurel Canyon in California, and found these dudes. So, like I said, Larry Taylor, Harvey Mandel, and then Sugarcane Harris. Don Sugarcane Harris was originally with a duo called Don and Dewey, and they played in Johnny Otis's show. Johnny Otis was kind of like the Alexis Corner of America. He promoted a lot of blues groups, a lot of blues singers, Little Willie John, Big Mama Thornton, Esther Phillips, Joe Williams, big talent. And toured the countryside and amazing. So Johnny Otis dubbed Don Harris Sugarcane because he was kind of a ladies' man. So there you go. But he also went on to play with Frank Zappa, Sugarcane Harris, and a lot of other people. Heck of a violinist. Electric violin is his forte, and man, he's good at it. But anyway, so he hooked up with these cats, all right? So, and created this amazing album. John Mayall, man, he's considered one of the grandfather of the British blues movement. And him and Alexis Corner opened a club called the Barrel House Blues Club in London. And it didn't do very well because blues music really wasn't that popular at the time. So later on, when it started getting a little bit more popular, a little more interest in it, he formed the Ealing Club. The Ealing Club was the club where all the Rolling Stones basically met. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards met, and I think Keith Richards saw the records that Mick Jagger had, and they talked about it, and then Mick Jagger saw a newspaper ad about the Ealing Club, and they decided to meet there. And when they met there was Charlie Watts on drums. You had Bryan Jones up there performing. Pretty much all the Stones were there, except for Bill Wyman, I think. But that's when the club really took off as a cellar club. But John Mayall and Alexis Corner, along with also a cat named Cyril Davies, who unfortunately died of leukemia very young in the 60s, but he was part of a group called Cyril Davies All-Stars. You had Alexis Corner had Blues Incorporated, where Cyril Davies originally started with them and then broke off into his own group, Cyril Davies All-Stars. John Mayall had the Blues Breakers, and then I'd also lump Graham Bond in there with the Graham Bond organization. Graham Bond, sad side note if you know his story, just a word of warning, do not mess with a cult. Not a good thing. But he had a lot of drug problems, and he got involved in the occult really heavy. Thought he was Aleister Crowley's son, some weird shit like that. But anyway, and he died supposedly on the wheels of a parked train. Not good, but anyway, parked or whatever. He died very mysteriously. Also did some time in mental institution, and not a good thing. And an immensely talented fellow. A terribly sad story. But anyway, regardless. But these four gentlemen basically started the British blues boom. And when they started these clubs, they attracted all this great talent. Like I said, these guys, the Stones, existed because of them. Graham Bond had pretty much the entirety of Cream, Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker. I mean, they were there. Eric Clapton, of course, played with John Mayall's Blues Breakers, because John Mayall's Blues Breakers was basically a boot camp for the blues. And when Eric Clapton left the Yardbirds because he thought with For Your Love they were going to pop, he went to John Mayall and specifically worked with him. He knew where to get the original source that he wanted. And man, if you've not heard the Blues Breakers albums, that is an incredible album. His playing on that is just, you got to have that album. But because of John Mayall, you have, Eric Clapton, you have Cream, you have Fleetwood Mac started from them. Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, and Peter Green joined Fleetwood Mac. You had other groups. My goodness, Mick Taylor of the Stones played with John Mayall. Goodness gracious. You had people that came down like Paul Jones from Manfred Mann, John McLaughlin, the great jazz guitarist, amazing, incredible musician, played in as well in the Ealing Club, and then later the Marquee Club, which was the really popular club that went spread the blues fever throughout England. But you had Eric Burden came down, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, all these amazing people. Ainsley Dunbar, a great session musician. You had Dick Hextall Smith. You had minor groups that were important, like Coliseum, Mark Allman Group, kind of like jazz light fusion group. Really cool sound though. But all these groups started just because these guys loved American blues music. If it wasn't for these guys, we would not have, my gosh, you and I have Cream, the Stones, Led Zeppelin. All these, these amazing groups, unbelievably, you need to know those names, because Alexis Korner and John Mayall are just incredible guys. Like I said, this man has dedicated his entire life to this form of music, and kudos and mad respect for him for that. But here we go. But U.S.A. Union, this is a really, one thing that John Mayall did. The main criticism with John Mayall is that he was a little bit too much of a staunch traditionalist. So his albums are very basic, very, very hardcore blues. Now, he did develop into like acoustic, kind of lo-fi, kind of like an MTV Unplugged before there was an MTV Unplugged kind of thing. So he did pioneer that. Basically, no drummer, very light percussion, and just, like barrel house, shuffle piano, some good interplay, harmonica, acoustic guitar, anything, all that stuff. But on this album, he's got these three cats, Larry Taylor and Harvey Mandel from Canned Heat, and Sugarcane Harris on electric violin, and just Mayall on harmonica, piano, maybe a little acoustic guitar, I guess. Incredible sound. This is a really cool, kind of like midnight. Get you a nice cool drink or a good smoke or something like that, and listen to this, man, because this is a cool album, man. But anyway, it's not even just blues music. This gets into like almost like jazz rock. You get some really swirling textures with that violin, and the bass interplay with Harvey Mandel. These cats, man, they do some really hardcore blues. I mean, we can go through some of the tracks here, like the first track, because John Mayall is really big into like ecology stuff and all that. Cool. And the first track, Nature's Disappearing, which it can be a little preachy. Sometimes the ecology stuff or songs about certain topics can get preachy. But he pulls it off pretty good, and the swirling bluesy underpinnings of that track, it's just incredible. And then you go, You Must Be Crazy, Woman, to think that I don't love you. That's a great little shuffle, man. And then he got Night Flyer. Night Flyer comes in next. That's a really cool song. Kind of like an epic song. Kind of like this and Crying on side two is like the two kind of epic songs. about him missing his girl while he's on the road. You know, simple musician kind of thing. It's really sweet, really cool song. But you get you really get that ache and that midnight bluesy feel, with that. Really cool. It's got a lot of good soul in it, man. It's really cool. And then Off the Road, that's the one song that I don't like as much. It's basically almost just a few verses hung on a bass solo from Larry Taylor. And what makes the song at least somewhat listenable is because his bass playing is incredible in that. Really highlighting him as a really good, almost jazzy bassist. Really good performance from him. Amazing performance. But that's probably kind of a throwaway track a little bit. And then Possessive Emotions, man, that's a good one too. Jealousy, Go Away, and all that. Talking about how he's obsessed with the girl. It's really sweet. Like I said, this is a dude's album that expressing all the love for his girl. Man, you can't go wrong with that, man. That's something everybody can relate to, dude. That's really cool. But anyway, and then you got the second side, which is just hilarious with Where Did My Legs Go, which is just a bluesy piano shuffle, great musical interplay. They can kick up a storm without even having a drummer. It's awesome, man. But that's good. And then speaking of kicking up a storm, man, Took the Car, man. When they get into that middle section, and it just starts, he doing the tambourine, and then sugarcane going off, man, and then they're just going and just building, man. That is just a killer moment. That's just good interplay. That's just good musicianship. You cannot go wrong with that, man. Seriously. But that's a killer track, too. I mean, it's a 1-2 punch right there. And then you go through Crying, which is just really hard to listen to because it is, talking about him, how he's moaning about how he got so mad he hit his woman. And man, that's hard to take, man. And feeling like he screwed up everything really bad. Like, man, I mean, guys know that, man. You know that you do something bad, really screw up, man, and you pay the price for it bad. But you can tell he really loves his woman, but he crossed the line, man. That's wild. But anyway, great song, good musical interplay. I mean, if you want to listen to good blues music, listen to that song, man. That'll tear your heart out, man. But then it ends on two really good notes. My Pretty Girl, which is just the sweetest little thing, man. Just expressing how I only want to treat her right, man. That's how you do. You got to treat your girl like a queen, man. A lot of guys don't know how to treat girls, man. And then you got to know how to treat your girl right, man. It's not always about you. It's about your girl. Hey, vice versa, too, ladies. It's not always about you. It's about your dude, too. So, but and then ends on that Deep Blue Sea, which should have been a really major hit for him because it's such a catchy number. And the little pop bubble percussion is kind of cool. Really neat song, man. But if you don't know John Mayall, this is a pretty easy album to find, really cheap, really good album, because it was a pretty popular bestseller at the time. But, yeah, you really need to know John Mayall, because this guy, I remember reading about, man, he used to live in tree houses and stuff. It was pretty cool, man. But, and also, too, after he got back from the Army, he went to graphic design school because he designs pretty much all his album covers. So he designed all this and the back cover, and then, it's kind of neat. Kind of cool. Really nice. But a really good album. Even if you're not really into blues music, this is really good, like jazzy blues, really evocative midnight, token music, Steve Miller Midnight Token, man. But anyway, great album. Seek it out. I give it a 4 out of 5. Not quite perfect, but it's certainly recommendable. Heck of a good album. Good introduction, John Mayall. And you got to have Blues Breakers to Eric Clapton. That album's killer, man. So, great album, man. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, subscribe, click the buttons, all that jazz and stuff. Or blues, if you like that. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think about this album. Let me know about John Mayall, man. Dude, Cat's killer, man. Cat is cool, and he's funky, and he's awesome, man. Love you, man. But, let me know what you think. Let me know some John Mayall stuff, man. Give me some stories and stuff, man. Lexus Corner or Grand Bond or, Cyril Davis. Let me know some stuff, man. Love to learn stuff. But appreciate it, guys. God bless you all. Later, man.